Here's the analysis result for the guy you filled out the survey for. The result? C minus. This guy is below par. He has some issues to watch out for. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you. Things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10-dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10-dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He's more of a talker than a doer when it comes to his career. You may hear him speak about big dreams or planning things in detail, but his follow through is usually weak. If plans hit a bump, he can get moody or upset instead of pushing through.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he is more likely to break down than bounce back. Small setbacks might bother him a lot, and he can get upset or even have outbursts instead of calmly solving problems. You may notice him becoming impatient or irritable when things don't go according to plan.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
He often struggles to get along with people at work. He's not very warm or friendly, and sometimes his words can come across as harsh or blunt without meaning to. Instead of building strong friendships, he could end up in frequent misunderstandings or conflicts.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you shine in your career, he's more likely to feel upset or threatened than truly proud. Instead of cheering you on, he might become moody, make sharp comments, or even try to find faults in your success. If what you want is a partner who's excited by your growth and happiness, you may feel disappointed by his reactions.
What if you start earning more than him?
Yes, if you earn more than him, he is likely to resent it or feel insecure. Instead of being happy for you, he might act irritated or grumble about things that have nothing to do with your job. You may hear small digs or sarcastic remarks, or he could become silent and withdrawn.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He tends to be careful with money and likes things to be neat and managed properly. You won't usually find him wasting money on things he doesn't need or buying impulsively. If bills need to be paid or savings need attention, he will make sure those things are done first.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He generally lives within his means and does not pretend to be richer than he is. He likes order and routine, so he's careful not to overspend or show off. This means you probably won't have to worry about sudden financial shocks or hidden debts.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He is more on the tight side, both with money and his attitude. He isn't quick to spend on others or go out of his way to do small, thoughtful things. You might feel like he's holding back, sharing less, and being strict instead of easygoing or generous.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He's likely to be open and straightforward about money, not secretive or sneaky. When it comes to finances, he prefers things to be clear and in order, so you'll probably know where everything stands. He might be particular or strict, but he isn't one to hide things or play controlling games with money.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He is likely to think that housework should be done properly and in an orderly way, but he may not naturally step up to share the load. He prefers things neat but might expect you to handle most of the chores, believing it's just how things are supposed to be done. You might find him pointing out problems more than actually rolling up his sleeves to help.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He's much more likely to just help by supervising than actually getting his hands dirty with chores or diapers. He cares that things are done the right way, but instead of pitching in, he may stand by and watch or tell you how things should be done. If something isn't done to his liking, expect comments or corrections rather than quiet teamwork.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He's much more likely to argue to prove he's right than to truly understand your side. When there's a disagreement, he often focuses on defending himself and winning the argument rather than listening with an open heart. Instead of calmly working through problems together, you might feel like you're always in a tug of war.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he is more likely to say hurtful things or act in ways that feel aggressive rather than staying respectful. His temper flares up quickly, and he might raise his voice, make sharp or cutting remarks, or even try to blame you for things that have gone wrong. His words can sting, and his mood can take over the whole house for a while.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yes, this is the kind of man who gets angry very quickly, sometimes over small things. His temper can be sharp and sudden, and he doesn't always control what he says or how upset he gets. Getting used to quick anger or harsh talk is not something you should ignore.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He finds it very hard to say sorry and truly mean it. Instead of taking responsibility, he's more likely to blame you or find reasons why he wasn't at fault. If you value honesty and someone who can own up to their mistakes, this will be a painful gap in your relationship.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He may struggle to truly respect your boundaries, especially if they go against what he wants or thinks is right. When you say no or set a limit, he's likely to argue, push back, or try to convince you otherwise rather than immediately stopping and respecting your wishes. He can be stubborn and focused on his own needs, sometimes ignoring your feelings or making you feel guilty for standing your ground. It's important to know that real respect means listening and honoring your choices, not just arguing until you give in.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
Yes, he is likely to take it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. Instead of understanding your feelings, he might react with irritation, silent treatment, or even sharp remarks that make you feel guilty or at fault. You deserve a partner who values your comfort and listens to your needs.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
You might not be able to fully trust him to handle private moments with care. If arguments or stress arise, he could use things you've shared or done together in private to make a point, hurt your feelings, or even embarrass you. This can leave you feeling exposed or anxious about sharing your true self.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He tends to keep to himself and doesn't go out of his way to seek excitement or new connections. So he is not someone who is easily distracted by other women. You're unlikely to find him flirting or chasing after attention outside the relationship. His focus is usually on routine and keeping things under control, rather than looking for adventure elsewhere.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
Yes, he is likely to be overpossessive. He may act jealous if you talk to other men, question where you're going, or want to know who you're with all the time. Living with this kind of behavior can make you start doubting yourself or feeling trapped.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
Yes, in his case, what he calls being protective is actually a sign of a controlling personality. He may say he's looking out for you or keeping you safe, but underneath, it's really about wanting things his way and keeping a tight grip on your choices. True protection feels safe and kind, not heavy or restricting.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He is likely to expect you to do most of the work when it comes to parenting. While he may care about routines being followed and things being done a certain way, he isn't the type to roll up his sleeves and share the daily load with you. Instead, he might act as the supervisor, giving advice or pointing out what's wrong, but leaving the harder emotional and practical parts to you.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he is likely to lose his temper rather than stay calm. Even small mistakes can make him raise his voice or snap, and his anger might make the kids feel anxious or scared to come to him with problems. The children might learn to hide their mistakes or feelings just to avoid his outbursts.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He is unlikely to fully support you as both a mother and your own person. He might expect you to put most of your energy into caring for the home and kids, often leaving your personal dreams, career, or need for me time on the back burner. If you try to balance motherhood with your own work or self care, he may not understand or appreciate your efforts and could even criticize you for not focusing enough on family duties.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, he is the kind of man who might seem to support your career now, but could later pressure you to quit once a child comes along. At first, he may act agreeable about your work, but when family routines and responsibilities grow, he's likely to expect you to put your career aside and focus mainly on home life. You might face guilt trips, sharp comments, or steady pressure to leave your job for the sake of the family.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is much more likely to just act polite on the surface with your parents rather than showing real warmth or genuine affection. His approach tends to be formal and distant, doing what is expected instead of truly building a close relationship with your family. He won't make much effort to get to know your parents' likes, feelings, or worries. He is more likely to expect your family to adjust to him rather than making an effort to fit in with them.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he is likely to make things worse rather than handle it calmly. His temper can flare quickly, and instead of smoothing things over, he may react with sharp words, irritation, or even open conflict. Rather than patiently working through misunderstandings, he could push back hard, making everyone uncomfortable.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you, but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, this is very much the kind of man who may seem modern with you in private, but will expect you to act like a traditional, supportive wife in front of his relatives. He's likely to want you to dress, behave, and speak in ways that fit his family's expectations or social rules, even if it feels unnatural or restrictive to you. Over time, it can feel like you're acting for others rather than living as your true self.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension between you and his relatives, he's more likely to stay out of it or quietly side with them instead of backing you up. He tends to avoid getting involved in messy emotional situations and may see fitting into family expectations as more important than supporting your feelings. If you want a husband who stands with you during family troubles, know that you may not get that strength or loyalty from him.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He is quite likely to be a mummy's boy. In a conflict with his mother, he will almost always take her side or refuse to get involved rather than standing up for you. He may believe that his mother's way is the right way and feel it's your job to adjust even when you feel wronged or hurt. If you try to talk about how you feel, he may ask you to be more understanding or just stay silent rather than defending you.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
Yes, he is the kind of man who may share every detail of your fights or private matters with his mother or sister. If there's a disagreement, he is likely to run to them for advice or sympathy instead of resolving issues between the two of you. Over time, it destroys trust and intimacy, making it hard to feel like you truly have a safe space in your marriage.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So, after all that analysis, we can conclude that this guy is a C minus. This guy is below par and he has some serious issues to watch out for. Day in and day out, being in a relationship with this man can feel lonely, tense, and tiring. You'll find yourself working hard to keep everything in order: home, children, and even his mood, while rarely getting real warmth or understanding in return.